following. Am I being heard?
Yes, okay, we can kickstart.
All right. Thank you so kindly, Mr. President, and welcome to all of us, all leaders, scholars that have taken your time to be part of today's event. I want to say you're highly welcome. This is our Legacy Hour 6.0 with Her Excellency Dr. Yama Joy Barvor King. I want to be very mindful on how I pronounce the names. So we are happy to have you with us today. As a matter of fact, like in our Vice President tune, our service to man is our service to God. So if you have people who dedicate their time and services to humanity, is very important to acknowledge them. And she's one of our leaders who have held the pillars of LSUIC over the years. And having her in our midst today is an exciting uh, experience for some of us who weren't around at the time. So we get started. So we all know the team. This is a continuation of 5.0. And this series or these series are intended to hear from our past leaders, those who serve at SURC, what were their achievements, what were their challenges, and how we can build on those challenges to keep the union alive. So the overall theme is honoring our past, engaging our present, and inspiring our future. So today, we are about to hear from one of our president, Her Excellency, uh, Dr. Barvor King, who served 2019 to 2020. If I'm wrong, I stand to be corrected. So by the power vested in me, I officially call this meeting to order as the National Secretary General of LSUIC. It's a privilege to be labeled that title at about this time in the history of LSUIC. So we will run through our agenda, and then we start as fast as possible because time is fast spent. So I'm reading the agenda right now, and then we move to our opening prayer that will be done by our National Chaplain General, Honorable Michelle Vampen. If you are there, can you unmute your microphone and then open us in prayer?
Okay. Good evening, good morning, from wherever you are joining us from. I bless God that we all are alive today and have the privilege to be on this platform. So let us bow shortly as I lead us through prayer. Father, we thank you for this moment. We give you the glory, we give you the honor. We pray that you grant us wisdom, a receptive remembering, so that whatever will be taught or discussed will not just be a beating of the wind, but Lord, it will be resonating in our minds to create lasting remembrance of how we can help shape our lives and shape the lives of those around us. We thank you for our speaker. We thank you for our audience and even the leadership as well. We pray that your name will be exalted at the end of the day in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so kindly, Honorable Vambe, for a round of prayer. So, if you are just joining or would like to bring to your attention that this is a series intended to hear from our past leaders. If you are following us via our Facebook page, we want to say you're welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Like some of us who was not around, for the newcomers, I think these series are very, very important to get to know about LSURC because many of you come around and don't want uh, to know about the institution like our Liberian mentality. I want to be in my space. I don't want to get bothered with your thing. But it's important that you get bothered with this thing because this thing is the umbrella that govern all of us away from home. It's a home away from home. So being a part of this family is very, very important because at the end of the day, if something happens to where you are, uh, the other nationals community will not be requested for, but the Liberian student community, and then you come running to the Liberian student community that you know nothing about. So I think this is an opportunity to get to know your past leaders, what they did when you was not around, and the successes that we are all living by today that we are trying to build on. These people sacrifice their time and services. So it's good you come around, you ask the hard question, get to know about the institution because we want to document our institutional memory. We want to leave something that when Honorable Blood is not around, when Honorable Hamo is not around, Honorable Willie children's children can come and read about LSUIC history. So I think this is the important of all of the series, beginning last series to this one and the next one to come. So moving forward, we will invite our national Vice President, Her Excellency Honorable Rufin M. Hammond, who will be giving us a welcome statement, be officially welcoming us to this event. So, Awama, are you there?
Yes, so can you guys hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay. So let me say a pleasant good evening from those of us who are here in China and from our speaker or anybody who's following us online in case the program is being live streamed. I would like to say good morning or good afternoon to you. We are so glad for this series because like the National Secretary mentioned, this is the series where we are honoring our past for those of us who weren't around during the early years of LSUIC. This is where you get to understand what happened before those who serve in different positions, especially the head of LSUIC, what they did, the framework that they've set up that we, who are the present leaders, are following through. So, in as much as we're honoring the past, we're also engaging in the present and most importantly, inspiring for the future. Because if we shall leave LSUSC, we pray that things continue and LSUSC continue to make tremendous progress. So let me say welcome to everyone once again. Thank you for joining us. At least we're about 14 on here, hoping that before the main discussion, at least a few more people will join us so that they themselves can also be up to speed on the happenings or the early happenings of LSUSC so that they can know exactly what happened during the tenure of Dr. Yamanjor Barvor King when she served as the president of LSUIC. If you weren't around, at least come and learn what she did and also the legacy that she left behind. That today, even when you mention her name, people who weren't around still know that, yeah, she once served LSUIC and the legacy is there, the marks are there. So, yeah, thank you for also availing yourself to be with us today and we really appreciate. So, I hope, as the National Secretary said, for those of us that will have questions, there'll be time for question and answer, so you can also ask those questions so that we can dialogue with President Emeritus. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, our Mary Lauren Brown of LSUIC. Thank you so kindly for officially welcoming us to this all-important event today. Okay, so moving forward, because we do not have time in our favor, we will invite our national president, His Excellency Honorable Orlando Tiablo, who will officially tell us about our speaker. Because sometimes you have speakers that come to event and they just want to remain on low key, but this one, no speaker is going to remain on low key. We want to get to know who the speaker is, because this honorable who is serving us today, as we can see the tremendous impact from his office, once served under this person during their time. So we do believe that he understands the nitty-gritty of uh, Dr. King. So we will invite him to just briefly tell us who our speaker is, and henceforth we will be hearing the voice of our speaker for the next few minutes. His Excellency, the platform is all yours.
All right. Thank you so much to the NEC by extension, the National Vice President and the National Secretary General for drilling us through. We want to say welcome once more, and it is an honor and a joy that we have Joy here with us today. The speaker for today is not a stranger to our union and not a stranger to me in particular, because we once worked together as a team and as an NEC, in which I was serving with her as the vice president when she was the president back then when we served LSUIC in 2019, 2020. And she once served as well with Dr. Bully, who will also be having on another section of the Legacy Hour as his vice president as well. So doing the service with Dr. Bully and also doing our time, there were so many things that were initiated. It was more of like the transformational period of LSUIC. It is honor her leadership when we have LSUIC first digital membership records. At the time, it used to be paper-based, but then it was transformed to at least an online or electronic base for membership. More to that, the constitution that we now have as a union was revised under her leadership. You know, it was a tough one at the time because 2019, 2020, that's when COVID hit China. And being the epicenter globally, there were so many things that would have been done, but because of the shift within the global and national crisis, so some focus was shifted. But in it all, the students and the populace of LSUIC, veteran communities, and other leaders saw or witnessed firsthand a leadership that was there for the students and as well meant what they wanted to do for the students. So on this note, I won't say much so that she can have the platform to also explain to us on other development. Else, she will not be the speaker for today. But I want to appreciate you so much, Dr. King, for firstly entrusting me to serve with you, and as well as your contribution to LSUIC, and more so for honoring our invitation to be here. When you told me you were just leaving work and you have to take time to adjust to get here, it is a sacrifice. Though you are still not serving as the president of LSUIC, but yet you are still making sacrifices for LSUIC. On this note, I want to appreciate you and now give you the platform to speak to your people.
Thank you very much. It's a delight for me to be back to a community of people who once gave me the opportunity to serve them. I saw that as a blessing. I saw that as an honor to be able to serve a group of people, especially when they have entrusted their entire confidence in you to be able to steer the affairs of the student union. So I'm excited to be here today. I'm not going to stay a longer time because I have a meeting within a 30 minutes period. So I would just stay with you guys for 30 minutes, and I hope I can be able to wrap up everything within that 30 minutes and then be able to leave and get myself prepared for the meeting. and just from work, I'm sleeping in my eyes, but with the kind of responsibility that we have to carry, with the responsibility that God has given us to carry, we don't complain. We just take it with grace and run with it. So for me, whatever I get myself engaged into, I just don't make decision based on my own ingenuity. No, I firstly present it to God. I'm a Christian by faith, so there is nothing I do without His guidance and His blessing. Even before I could run for the office of the president for LSUIC, I also consulted God, and He was able to help me to succeed because it was a tough year. It was a very, very tough year, but we were able to go through and we succeeded and we were able to serve the student community. So once again, it's a delight for me to be among you guys and for you to be able to give me your platform and your listening ears and taking your time to come and listen to the little that I have to offer. So, yeah. Looking at the topics that were given to me, I went through them, and the first one was like the challenges I had during my period of leadership. Um, Firstly, I would like to recognize the presence of the president. He was very, very supportive to me. I can say that he was someone who like held my arm. He took me along, and everything I was able to achieve, I could not achieve it alone. I was able to achieve it through his support and also the secretary, Pee Tatu Koluba, and Diako Augustine, and Loretta. They are just a lot. You know, they were able to like join hands with me and was able to help me go along the way. So I'm grateful to God for that. But the challenges that we had during our leadership was the period, like he said, COVID. That was the period that COVID broke out. And we had a new wave. We had to get adjusted to be isolated. So most of our activities were like held online. And that year, even graduation was like held online. You had to like defend your thesis online and all of that. So it was a strange thing for us, but we were able to navigate ourselves through that period of time. It was kind of difficult. I would not say that it wasn't. It was challenging, especially being isolated, just like in your dormitory. You just have to be locked up. You have to get yourself prepared to go down to do temperature checking every now and then. And depression set in. Like for most of the students, they were even used to that. And even get remittance from back home or whatever places that it was coming, it was kind of difficult. Sometimes you had to like fund coordination, go to the administration to be able to help you, give you, because most of the campus were locked down. Well, actually locked down, you have to ask for excuse. Some campuses were not even allowing students to leave. So even to go to the bank, there was no way out. And I mean, it was just like a lot of challenge for us. But we're able to navigate our way through and we're able to reach the student community to the stage for which we got through for that period of time. But after that, for to be able to alleviate the weight that was on the student community at the period of time, we were able to like form a committee to raise funds and humanitarian from around the world. So there was one person that was based in South Korea that was able to like donate a very good sum of money to us, coupled with the embassy. I also like to recognize the embassy. The embassy was really standing with us in that time, especially Ambassador McKinney, Duda McKinney Thomas, and Sis Musu Massacre. All of them, they were able to wrap their hands around us and give us support. And the funds that we're able to raise were able to like distribute among the cross section of provinces, different provinces. And it wasn't much, but at least we're able to do that for the fight, that we're able to mobilize to be able to raise funds, to be able to alleviate a little amount of weight on the students. For me, I think I was satisfied at the period of time. And one thing that got me excited was that after our tenure, first of its kind were able to turn over an amount of 22 renminbi, 22,000 renminbi. Were able to turn it to the next leadership, which was Hassan Whitfield. Were able to turn that over to him. For him, he was handed leadership on a silver platter, because for us, we came with a cup was completely empty. It was depleted. We never had anything that we could like start with, but we were able to put our resources together, human resources together, to be able to see how we can move forward. The leadership, I can say, is service. Leadership is something that you have to put yourself into. You have to be creative. You have to be innovative. You have to be a good listener. And you have to be somebody that will have empathy, because if you don't have empathy, sometimes people that you lead don't even see what you do for them. They don't even see the sacrifices that you take or not take. You are like a shield. You are like protecting them from whatever thing that is coming from on the outside world. But sometimes it's not seen. That the only thing most at times they see is that, okay, what you have not done. They don't really try to check about what you are doing, but they start to look about what you have not done. So in a period of time, while you are trying to fight on our behalf, sometimes they don't see that. But in it, if you don't have empathy, that's when you lose your mind, and then you start to like ask yourself, but what did I come in this place in the first place? But once you have empathy, you will be able to take out the torch and then run with it. Another thing, you have to be a good listener. The constituent that you serve will have various issues. They will have things that they want you to look at and be able to handle. If you are now a good listener, and sometimes they give you the apply and you cannot listen, it breeds contention. With the case, like one case we had with the student of Beijing, and that was one of my legacy that I'm happy today that I was able to like serve as a mediator and intervene, and that was settled. The Beijing chapter was broken away from the entire student union, and that was not something for me that I saw that was good, because if we say we are a unit, if we say we are coming to serve the community of students, we cannot see one of our arms broken and then we just like watch and see it walk by. It was not an easy process, because it was kind of tension oriented. That to even get to them, the first set of committee was set up to go and do some negotiation, but it failed. And then series of negotiation were held, but it just did not materialize. And in a period of time, I just thought it wise, and I talked with Dr. Body at that time, and I told him, okay, I think it's time for us to see what we can do. Despite he did not buy it at the moment. In fact, it was a serious issue, because when I even told him about it, he was not done with him. But I had to do it, and I took up upon my time, and I went there and I was able to meet them and I listened to them. I was able to listen to them. They had issues. They have things that were at the center of their heart that they needed to express and resolved. And sometimes if things are not resolved, it built a boundary between those that you serve and then you as a leader. So I can always tell leaders that are emerging, or people who will have the opportunity to serve, that you have to listen to those that you serve, because if you don't, you may not have a smooth leadership. You don't want to have a leadership wherein a certain group is like disconnected from the rest of the other group. No. LSUIC was formed to put all of the students together in Asia. That is China. Of course, China is very large. It has a lot of provinces, and you have students all across the place. You cannot have one portion of students united while the other one is divided. No. So for me, I took that upon myself, and I was able to go and intervene. And despite it was not easy, but we're able to yield results. And one thing I learned from that is that when I returned, the other body at the time, he saw it like undermining. But one lesson I learned is that sometimes the vision that you have, and serving under your leader or your boss or whatever it is, sometimes they may not see it. So there where leadership comes in. Sometimes you have to like swallow the bitter pills of just being okay. You don't want to have a disconnect between you and your boss. So sometimes you have to listen, but also equally too, you have to look at the bigger picture. You have to look at bigger picture to see, okay, yeah, if I do this, something I know that something might be the other way around, but I have to look at the bigger picture, especially for that time. We could not just Beijing broke away for a period of time, and we had to like intervene to go and see how we could do that. And then during our leadership, we were able to fund a scholarship committee. Like on my campus, we were like 3 students on the campus, but we evolved over the period of time to like 35 students, and then that 35 students over the period of time became over 100 plus. And scholarships, we formed a scholarship committee that was able to like help students be able to like apply to various universities to be able to get scholarships to be able to push themselves. So these are things that we were able to like achieve over the period of time. So yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be asked question or I should just like, go ahead with what I think I jotted down.
Yeah, you can just go ahead when you finish everything, then we probably can.
Okay. And then one thing I can like, because he said that what's the vision for LSUIC? If I be a leader, if I can advise any leader to serve LSUIC with the vision, one thing I could say is that, like I said, you have to be empathetic, and then you have to be a good listener, and then you have to like be decisive. And being decisive, you have to have wisdom in making decisions. You can't just like get up and make decisions. You have to be observant. As a good leader, you have to be observant. You have to look at the situation at the period of time and see what benefit it can bring to those that you lead. If it is not beneficial at that time, you can undertake such a stuff to be able to like go ahead with it. And then another thing is that you have to know the right moment when to move. When to move. Because to lead a hammer is not an easy thing. The courage to lead a group of people who did not ask you to be led is completely different from being on the battlefield. I can like equate it onto being on the battlefield because there were many times we like had to like judge cases, we had to like intervene. The period of time I got to know that okay, yeah, leadership is not just an ordinary thing, it was that period when I was leading LSU that my entire account got depleted. Because there will be sometimes a student will come in your inbox and explain that situation. For me, I'm like somehow sympathetic, especially looking at the way I grew up, maybe because the way I came up. So I try to like always want to help people. So sometimes students come in your inbox, they want help, they want some assistance. You have to like check and see what you can do. Some of them will say, "Oh, my parents have not sent me allowance yet." And they don't see you like a student. You are a student. You are leading them. But they don't see it like that. They think that, okay, yes, maybe if I take my issue to the president can be able to handle it and be able to lead. But you have to be having the wisdom because to lead a group of people who did not ask to be led, it takes a special courage. I can say like I also like something like on the battlefield. So my vision for incoming leaders and people that will want to make a change is that you should be able to empower your people. You should engage with them. You should be able to prepare them to be able to take over, especially for the veterans because once you guys graduate, you're gonna transition to veteran. You're gonna be sent to the to LATS, the Liberian Association of Attorney Trained Scholars, LACS. So you're gonna transition in that. But if you are transitioning in that, what are you taking on board? You got to be positive. You got to be a positive agent of change. You have to foster personal growth. You have to collaborate. You got to be having a sense of belonging. If I say personal growth, it's one thing that have helped me, right? The leadership that I undertook in LSUIC, it helped to propel me to carry me to a particular level. And when I got on that level, I was able to prepare myself personally. To be very, very frank, working in a private sector is completely different from working in a governmental sector. Like back home, you have a government job. Sometimes you just deal with it lackadaisically, just go ahead with whatever you do. But if you're in a project that requires excellence for you, rather, they require excellence from you. You have to be on top of your game. So you have to have a personal growth. Personally, you have to grow. You have to develop your mind. You have to be completely different. So because it's based on this difference that will be able to put you on the market. So for me to be able to be here today, I gave God the glory first, number one. But number two, I was able to prepare myself. I was able to personally go and be able to see how I can change. For I don't like to stay in one place for a longer time. No, I'm somebody who push myself. I push myself to the level that sometimes people who are around me can ask me, Yama, when are you going to? How will you go the level for which you go? I go the level for which you go because I know that the word is. I have to make an impact. I got to make a difference, and you cannot leave the face of the earth just like that. God gave you a purpose for coming on the face of the earth. You can just come and pass, and then when you go on, nobody know okay that you existed. No. So you have to make a difference. In making a difference, you got to be excellent. You got to empower yourself. You have to have personal growth. And when you have personal growth, and I came to America before I got to have a clearer understanding that everything here is merit-based. Everything is merit-based. And then when you get among a particular class of people and see how they organize themselves, you see how things have been done, you see how organized they are, and see how challenging the area is. And then you know that, okay, we are joking, especially back home, but personal growth over the period of time was able to help me to get to where I am. And you got to collaborate and you don't have to have a sense of belonging. If you don't have a sense of belonging, how are you going to go on? How are you going to go on? In order for a current dealership, to have a some, you have to be effective in your vision. You should be somebody who have focus in developing ethical, future-oriented leaders. Because you have to make yourself that when you have left, someone can take that thought and be able to move with it. You should not lead a group of people and they cannot put their hands on what they were able to learn from you, what they were able to deal with. You cannot do that. So you have to lead something. You have to have you have to be a focused, developing ethical, future-oriented leaders who are going to improve themselves and then the community for which they are going to go. I just want to jot down a few points that I think really look at, some key points like empowerment and agency. You have to cultivate the belief that, okay, with those that you need, you got to cultivate within them that they are able to lead, they are capable of leading. Sometimes you give people that then the way you go is through volunteering. It's true, volunteering. Sometimes if there's a committee that is formed and then people don't want to get themselves engaged or get themselves into something, you may not go. And you might be thinking, okay, yeah, I'm just going to go along. But there are times that you come to a place that will require you, opportunity will rise up. What you are doing here now, you are developing yourself. You are growing. Because the more you come to the students to lead them, you have to go and check and search and see what can you be able to give onto them. And, so I just to be able to empower, you have to cultivate the belief that those you lead can also have the power of leading. And and they can be forces of change. You have to be inclusive and then having a sense of belonging. That's what I say. Ensuring that diverse voices are heard. Like I said from the beginning, you got to listen to people. You got different opinions they may have, different issues. You have to be willing to listen to that. And, you have to have a growth and development, focusing on both personal and professional growth. Like I said, you have to have mentors. You have to have mentors to be able to help you over the period of time to be able to do that. Because if you don't, you're really lacking behind. And you as a leader have to teach ethical action. You got to have ethical action that is leading with integrity and aligning your actions with your core values. You have to have integrity. If you don't have integrity, how will you be able to lead a group of people? Sometimes you may leave a mark behind that people will be wondering, is that the person who was leading the student union? Is that the person who was leading? So you have to know that you have to set or have a core value that you can stand by and be able to move forward. And then the next thing is collaboration. That is fostering partnership and teamwork, creating rather than just participating. You have to create something. You have to create something instead of just participating. You have to be creative. And once you are creative, there are a lot of things that you are able to achieve and you can move along with. So I would like to pause and stop there. And maybe there are other questions that will be asked. Then I can move forward with that.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so kindly for sharing with us your experiences while serving LSUIC. I think these are things that we need as a union in forging ahead. So thank you so much for showing up firstly, and secondly, giving us all of those informations that will help us in documenting our. So
And
at
then
this point
before
in
maybe he
time,
come in, the one thing that excited me, like he said, before our time there was just records of paper based, where it get missing. Sometimes you don't even know how to get yourself in it. But when he came, he was able to create a database that we could be electronically, situated, and we're able to have some records saved that you can be able to look at the past leaders, their achievement. I don't know if it's still operating, but that was what under our leadership we're able to achieve. And you can be able to go back and search and see if those are led you over the period of time, different period of time, and and have some records with you. And then the most exciting thing was what I can say. I don't know whether other leadership was able to leave a huge amount like that back, but because for me, I fear my name. And then thank God the people that were serving along with me too also fear that name. So we're able to leave a very massive amount of 22 renminbi, first in its kind. 22 renminbi was able to turn it over to that Whitfield. Yeah, and I was happy that they turning that over to him, and I can say he picked up on a silver platter. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, so sorry for interrupting.
during my time, we were able to turn over
22
22,000
women, yeah,
RMB, a lot of
22,000
money,
women. Yeah.
a lot of money. All right, so thank you so much. In the words of Rabbi Dandra Tori, he said the other day that I slept and dreamed that life is joy. But when I woke up, I discovered that life is about service.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the hands that serve is the great hands that God bless and multiply. So, thank you so much for your time of service to LSUIC. We appreciate, and this is something that we will always remember, acknowledge, reference today, tomorrow, and in the ever future to come. So at this point in time, if you are there as an audience and then you want to ask a question to our guest speaker or excellency, you can kindly raise your hands, be recognized, and then you can ask a question. Any other thing you want to know, please, this is the time for it. Okay, I see the hands of the law, Honorable Coco Willager. Sir, kind of unmute your microphone. The platform is all yours.
Thank you, Honorable Willie. Madam King, it's a pleasure to, Dr. King, it's a pleasure to see and hear from you again. Uh, my question is simple, but I'd like to premise it a bit. Some years ago, when we were given the opportunity to serve as AEC chair under your leadership, you said something crucial that has been my base of advocacy in LSUIC over the years. In our exchange, you said, probably you've forgotten, a young man coming to China, just a sophomore student given that big task, I was confused. You told me you have the freedom to serve, implement your vision in support of what we want as a union. And we went on to have the winter debate, which is now one of the biggest events in China. It has been existing already. We had a successful one, me and brother Isaac. And we went on to implement the tutoring program. Last week I was in Suzhou and I spoke with the president of Suzhou and the students there where I spoke with them and they were telling me how effective that program is in Jiangsu. Normal, the president is doing extremely well and all of the students are doing very well in their lessons. That came from one statement, the freedom to serve. The freedom to serve that you told us. And because they have the freedom, they are implementing that and they are doing well. My question to you is, how important is it to give scholars in LSUIC the freedom to serve? As a leader, how important?
That cannot be overemphasized. That cannot be overemphasized because even in your home, there are services that you can render. And through that service, you think you are like rendering that service to people, but it's also like coming back to you. Because in serving, you get rewarded. Because there are some things that your capabilities that you might not even recognize that you had, right? But through the time of serving, you see that coming out. You start to recognize that. You start to see it, and then as you are serving someone, whatever you impart. Like I'm currently doing my book. My book, it should be coming up in March. I'll be launching it in March, and maybe I may come on your platform to be able to. I said it something, just a particular word, or you might be thinking that what you're doing now is ordinary, but the level of which you are able to impact someone through your service can be able to liberate somebody in the future. So when you are serving as a leader, do not take it as an ordinary thing. That service that you are rendering can be able to make someone, or it can be able to break them. So that part that you are playing in the life of the people that you lead through your act of service is very, very much important. It could be through some words of encouragement that you are giving them. It could be through your action. It could be through your arms that you're giving, or message that you are giving through that service that you are rendering onto someone. So it cannot be overemphasized, because someone will benefit from what you do now, today. What you are doing now through your act of service, someone will be able to benefit from it. Like the tutoring that is going on in Suzhou and all of that, and I'm glad for Coco because that's his area. He love to do that. He's now tutoring. Perhaps there might be somebody that was having some deficiency at a particular course or some level in his or her life, that could not just have a way out, but through his act of service of tutoring them, they will be able to surpass that and see how working together to see, okay, yeah, if I succeed, let the person be able to succeed also. And God sees your heart. Once you are helping, He opened doors for you. He opened a lot. I can tell people that most of the things that happen in my life, sometimes I just see it like a dream. It's not that I did not apply effort. It's not that maybe I did not prepare myself. There are people who are prepared and do not even have the opportunity to be able to get to some other places. But sometimes I get somewhere, those are just like open for me. Sometimes I will just have an opportunity. I will just do some application. If things that would take others for years to pass, it just becomes like something that is like just like a walk in the park, and I'm able to go through it. It's because God sees your heart. He's going to reward you for that. So whatever service that you are doing, you are preparing some generation to time to come. So do not take it as an ordinary something. Put yourself in it. Put yourself in it. That child that you are preparing today, that individual, rather not child, I mean, I say because we are all adults, that individual that you are preparing to through your adult service will be able to help someone tomorrow. If you do not do it the proper way, and you do it maybe haphazardly, and you see that person in a particular set of leadership, or maybe in government, But because you are not able to make a positive impact in that person's life, they may do their own thing, and then it will affect maybe your children. It will affect your family member. So the art of service cannot be overemphasized. It's very much important, and it help propel the next set of generation to be able to take over from us and be able to run with the torch and bring a difference on board. Yeah.
Okay. Do we have another question? All right, I'm seeing the hands of Adolfo Swain. Adolfo, you're recognized. You can kind of unmute your mic and ask a question.
Okay, thank you very much to the speaker for such an insightful section. So my question is, you will make mention of, as a leader, it is important to give a listening ear and also to show empathy.
Empathy. Yeah.
Your empathy. So like, I want to know, should a leader really show empathy 100% of the time? I'm asking because I feel like sometimes being too empathetic might make it hard to make some tough cuts. So what's your take on that?
I will make a clarity. Let me make clarity to that. It doesn't
Okay.
mean when you are empathetic, you cannot take a stance. No. You can be empathetic, but you can also have boundaries. Because if you don't have a boundary as a leader, you're going to have chaos. You're going to have people, because where there is no rule and order, people take advantage of it. That's the nature of humankind. Where there are rules, they strive. But where there is none, you will have chaos. So imagine you have laws and orders, but yet they stay in a society, you still see what goes on, right? But when I say you should have empathy in your decision making, when you are making empathy in the sense that whatever decision, it will not hurt the people, but it will help them. It will help build them. It will help prepare them. So you be having empathy does not mean you cannot take a stance. No, you can't. So let me just make that clarity. Having empathy, you can also take a stand to be able to make decisions that will help benefit the collective good of the people that you lead. Yeah. So don't just be empathy. Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm just. Okay. Let me just allow you to be. Okay. Yeah. Even in listening, you have to know the important things also to take and what not to. It's not just everything that has been said to you. That's where I say wisdom coming. You have to listen with wisdom. That's where wisdom come in, to be able to see, okay, yeah, what can I collect from what they are saying? What can I collect from it, and be able to give them back. So I just want to come with a Bible say, like in Solomon, when God told him to lead the people, he asked for wisdom. So when the issue of the child, the two ladies with the baby came, he was able to make a decision, and the rightful person was able to go along with that. And, so in your decision making as a leader, you have to have wisdom in everything you do. You listening, you having your listening ear, but you have to apply wisdom in listening to the people and being empathetic rather. It does not mean you cannot take a stand. You can. You should even have boundaries and all of that. But do not take decisions that will hurt the people that you lead. In a sense, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Honorable Gaji, you have to time's up.
All right. Thank you so much, Honorable Secretary. And thank you to our veteran president for that presentation. Honestly, it is inspiring. And it's a plus to have a few people around anytime we need your expertise. All right. So I listened to your deliberation. And also, I would say thank you for the previous services. What we want to know, what is that one thing that or that decision you made before or while you were in leadership that if you think you have given that opportunity, you won't repeat it and you will correct that? Is there anything?
One decision I would say is when I took the decision to go to Beijing and I discussed it with the president at the time, he did not deem it necessary to, and it brought rift between us. So if I should take such a decision the next time, despite a yielded results, but it also brought rift between us. And you cannot be serving under someone and then such a thing like happening. So if I should do it again, I would try to have a compromise or negotiation and we can find a common ground that it can be like he can let be able to absorb that and then give me his blessings to be able to do. Yeah, that's one thing. Because sometimes you have a vision as an honor man, your leader does not see it. So you have to be convincing, yeah, to be able to take the next step.
Okay. Another question? Rambo VB, do you
So
have
I have like just 10 more minutes for you guys. I'm sorry, but I have a meeting, like upcoming meeting, yeah, for my office. And I have to
Okay,
take
so
that.
we'll take one for our national vice president, one for the national president, and then we call it a day. So we'll call the national vice president. Am I being heard?
Oh, yes, yes, I can hear you. I can
Look
hear
one
you.
hour
Okay.
as president for you.
I I don't have a question though. I don't have a question. Let me just say thank you to the president emeritus, our doctor herself, and our author. We are waiting for the book.
Yeah, it's coming up in March. March is
By the
coming up.
grace of
I
God,
just gave
we're
us
waiting.
synopsis for my book anyway on leadership.
Yeah, we're waiting for it. So, like I said, I don't really have a question. I just want your take on leading. I'm going to like limit this question to leading Liberians because it's really difficult, especially being a student and with the job that the work it comes with the responsibilities. It's actually a lot for people who do not have that access to see the work that is being done behind the scene. And you who have had the experience, what will you say to leaders? Because there are days where you have so many things to do, but Orlando would say you gotta go do the people work. What would be
He
like
knew
something
how
that
doing
would
our
really
time. He knew, so that's why he reminded me to do the people work.
Orlando
Yeah.
say you gotta go do the people work. And so you want slag and say go do the people work. That's why you sign up for. So at least for that, it's like a driving force. Because sometimes when you hear that, even when you tired, said it, man, yeah, very yes. We're not speed on you. So
Yeah.
just something to really keep that fire burning because
Mhm.
people are looking up to you, but you yourself, you're a human being. You got
Yeah.
school, you got other projects, but there's something you sign up for. But being a
Mhm.
human, you also, want to slack sometimes. So what would be something that would really drive you just to pull through the entire phase so that at least the impact that or what you sign up for, you're actually able to deliver to the students or wherever organization you find yourself in as a leader?
First of all, you have to give yourself time. I understand that you have limited time, but you have to give yourself time. Like what I used to do during my time, when I see that because at the period of time I was leading, like graduation was on hand. I had to like run series of models in the lab. I had to like write my theses. I had to at the same time pay attention to students. So most of the time, and I'm grateful for the vice president at the time, he Orlando. Most of the time I would call him and tell him, okay, Orlando, um, I will not be able to be there today, or maybe I may be a little bit late. So maybe you can just take over for some time. Yeah, but you have to give yourself time because if you don't, you will collapse. Let me just say that you will collapse. So you have to give yourself space a little bit. Maybe it can be like for maybe a day, like that. Just take it out and just refresh yourself. Refresh yourself. Just something that will be entertaining. Something that would take your mind off the work for a period of time. Even here in the office here, if I have to prepare lessons for students, or I have to like organize for a meeting like now, chairing, and I just came from work and I have to prepare all of these things. So sometimes I play in between and take a short period of time to see how I can work to be able to balance myself. So you have to give yourself time. Yeah. Other than that, you will collapse. So you don't want to collapse serving the people. So, but what happened to Rufin? So you have to give yourself a period of time, and then you can find something entertaining just to take your mind off work for that time. What you said. And another thing, in serving people, like I said from the previous stage, is that sometimes they don't see what you are doing, but to lead Liberians, it requires sacrifice. It's sacrificial in itself. It is. Because after you have done all of that, you say, well, and what in fact what she had to offer us, what she's even did, even her predecessor or better than, even know what she did and all of that. They don't see behind the scene what you do to be able to give results. So the 1 minute if their results are not given according to what they want or they deem it necessary to be, they feel that you're not working. But in as much as you are there, and then secondly, you should know that, okay, yeah, what you are doing, you are going to be rewarded. If you know that what you are doing is going to be rewarded by God, it may give you the more energy to be able to do more. So for me, that's where I drew my strength from. At the time of COVID, we're in trying to help them, trying to see how organizing, trying to talk to people all walk of life, talking back onto the government, calling on radio stations and talking, saying things. People not even paying attention to you, but you still try to like find a means. I just saw that as okay, yeah, whatever I'm doing, God is going to reward me. So that's why I was able to like be able to have a balance, but I also like give myself time. So you have to do that. You don't want to be serving and then crap. No. So I can advise you to do that. Yeah. In as much as you have the people where you go for it, you have to work. You have to work.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You have to
yeah,
work.
yeah.
But equally so too, you have to balance it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, I know Diablo. They made our energy. They say you need to do the people work.
I know how he can work. Actually, I know how he can work. Orlando is a
The, mo-
workaholic. Yeah.
the moment you see that, you can take deep breath.
He's a
Yeah,
workaholic.
but so that yeah, you then we can close on this
Yeah,
question and answer.
since our doctor will be leaving us shortly, mine is not a question, but just to appreciate you for honoring our invitation once more.
Mhm.
And we'll be looking forward to hearing from you again in the soonest future. As you may be aware, LSUIC is turning 20 years this year, July. So we want to have a very great conference. So LSUIC will be reaching to you financially.
I am not that of P100, the little.
So
I am not that of P100.
you have to, we'll be getting to you so that at least the students on that day, um, the students will also get to know you more. But
Yeah.
thank you so much for availing yourself and for sharing with us what you have for us tonight. We really
Yeah.
appreciate it. May God continue to bless you and strengthen you.
Amen. Yeah, like before I can just my parting statement, LSUIC is at the center of my heart because we were there from the initial stage when it was being like organized. Despite we went a few years when it was just 3 years when it was organized, and then we got there and were able to structure it. Because for me, I went through the ranks. I went from coordinator, president, president, coordinator, and all of that until I just grew up anyway. And LSCRC is at the center of my heart. So whatever the name LSCRC is mentioned, even if I don't have the time, I will try to provide it to be able to see how I can be part of it. Because it will bring joy to my heart to be part of a group that is being developed, and then we'll be able to get immersed in society and be able to give a greater impact from what they are learning here. It might appear to be little, it might appear to be ordinary, but it is of do not overlook little beginnings. When you come from that's what the Bible says. It gets you over a period of time. You see yourself in society, see yourself places that you don't even imagine that you are there. If you check all around the world now, you see people, a lot of people from LSUIC all over the world. And, it's because they learned from where they were and they were able to apply that. So I'm grateful and I'm happy. So thank you for making what's his name? For making oh my bunny would like to give me hard time. Bear now is asking me to to go and present somewhere different. So you open the door and now he's giving me hard time to go and present. But anyway, LSUIC is my baby and I appreciate and I always make the time available. Thank you very much for listening to me and thank you for the lessons that you were able to learn. I'm grateful and I'll always be here to serve. Bye.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. King, for availing yourself to
So I
share.
beg to leave. See you guys.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Mm.
All right, so now we'll move to remarks from the audience. Firstly, we will take one male, one female. If not, we'll take two females or two males. Either ways. So if you are there, you want to say something, you want to give a remark, kindly raise your hand and be recognized, please. Are we still following?
We are. May I remarks? Let's move.
Any remark from the audience?
There is none. So I think, okay.
Someone has to speak though.
Okay, so yeah, let's take Honorable Coco. Honorable Coco, you are recognized, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Can you hear me? Willie.
Yes, please. Yes.
As I promised the president was the last session you had, I don't know when. I told him I will appear more for this event, even when my schedule gets tight. I will try my best to appear more. And these are some of the reasons why. The advocacy that some of us we've made over the time becomes glaring more and more. And this experience sends us back to this. It is easy, look in Liberia, when we come to LSUIC, when people leave office, it's easy to criticize them and call them names and think that the current is better than the past. It has happened many times than not. It may be true in essence, but sometimes it's highly unnecessary. It's highly unnecessary. And as such, we think there's an opportunity, and I hope more people can tend to join these sessions. It's important for our country that we can appreciate the exploits, the capitalize on successes rather than defaming and looking down on achievements because of failures. And it boils down to the same position to say, I'm glad we are here and I'm glad we are having this exchange. It will help us and will change the dynamics of this union. And for me personally, I cannot express how much satisfaction it will bring to me, because this is something that we've looked forward to for many years. And we hope that it can yield exactly what it promises to us at the moment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. We'll take Honorable Gaji. Honorable Gaji, kind of unmute your microphone and ask your question.
All right. Thank you again, Honorable SG. And sometimes we don't want to be the dominant voice in the house, but again, we cannot sit back when we have seen such a work being done and dedicated service being discharged by the leader, and then the opportunity is given for someone to make a statement and the body cannot make a statement. It is something like you are not appreciating what people are doing. So most time, you will see our hands will be raised, even if we will be the only person who will raise our hands to continuously appreciate our leaders. Because honestly, if you are not in that role, you cannot know how it is. Most especially a pro bono service like this one, where you are not receiving, but you are giving. I have been into the youth and student leadership since 2012 up to now. So I'm seeing this with serious experience and I know why it is. And I was so thrilled when I heard Dr. King saying many a time your subjects may not ask what have we achieved, all right? Or they may not talk about what you have achieved, but they will want to ask what have not been done. And even if you organize things, they are not coming. Look at the number we have. For this very unique program, we have just below 14% here. When I last checked, it was like 14. All right, with the membership we have. It is something that could even reduce the appetite of the leaders. If you remove all the leaders from here, the meeting is not attended. But somebody will come and ask, what have the leadership done? And these are things that we face as leaders. So again, we will always say thank you and keep that motivation and rest assured that you are not doing it for anybody. It is not an R7 job. You are doing it as society will judge you tomorrow, and God will be your source of give back to all the energy you are investing. Thank you so much, and always we will be here. If we are the one person that will raise our hands, we will raise our hands and say thank you to the leadership for this work you guys are doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Kaji. Thank you for always showing up during all of our meetings, our activity. You've been doing an extraordinary work. And thanks to everyone who made it possible to be part of this event today. We appreciate you. We see you and we give you a flower. And thanks to the national president who uh, has been working and is still working behind the scene day and night. They're making sleep for LSUIC business. Sometimes the man goes to bed 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Imagine that. And so now 2 hours, the man just sleep their way up in the NEC group. And talking everybody, ensuring that LSUIC work is done. I was joking all the time. I say, each time I see your measurement, I get caught. When I get caught, and they will remind you, they're tracking everybody progress individually. You vice president, you must work. And thank you so much. That has really helped some of us to grow. A lot of things we didn't know when we came to the NEC. Now we are learning day by day. Every day that we can learn new things from the national president. And we appreciate him today, tomorrow, and even in the near future. Even how honorable vice president too, she there attacking people. You attend meeting, no more find you. The more fun you attend meeting, imagine NEC members are paying the highest due in LSUIC, but yet they and now again sleep. Yeah, I think is a great thing, and I see that as a growing curve, and embrace it on a daily basis. If all of us can embrace this kind of energy in LSUIC, I think we will be going somewhere. So thanks to everyone, all city leaders, coordinators, committee members that has been contributing to LSUIC growth and development. We see you, we appreciate you. God bless you, and God bless LSUIC. Good night from my end.